I'm stoned. I'm stoned. I'm stoner, I'm stoner, I'm stoned. I'm stoner, I'm stoner, I'm stoned.
That guy, Young Thug, is one of the biggest names in hip-hop, which many fans say is more than music. Hip-hop is often described as a culture that started about 30 years ago, born of the need for urban young people to share their experiences and how they felt about them. But a lot of people, including yours truly, believe that music, the majority of it, that we consider hip-hop today, has run so far off the rails, to the point where many believe that it is destructive and creating destructive behavior. Well, that's my opinion, so that's why we invited the experts, those that understand it probably better than I could ever understand it. To talk about this thing called hip-hop today is Dwayne Michael.
Yes.
Dwayne, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Should Could Dream Tour.
Yes.
And student activist Colin Burge, you saw him in Your Voice inaugural show. Colin is, among many things, Mr. Black Student Union at the University of Maryland and chair of the membership committee of the NAACP's University of Maryland College Park branch. Listen, let's get this out of the way. We know there are a few of them that produce good rap music.
Yes.
Good lyrics, good values, good virtue. That's not what we're talking about today, because they're in the minority.
Yes.
Talk about this music and the impact that it's having.
It can have a terrible impact if used the wrong way. But if it's used in a positive way, like what we do with our Should Could Dream Tour, you can inspire a whole nation to work hard, never settle, dream big, and to accomplish extraordinary success.
That's another show. Tell us how it's used bad so we can learn, parents and young people, the dangers and what you can become if you don't really understand it. If you don't have somebody at home saying, while you listen to this, don't become this.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, hip-hop, in a sense, they're just actors. And I feel as though that they're just putting on a front sometimes to just prove their point. It's almost like in acting for a certain movie. Someone may play a role. And I feel as though that in the rap culture, a lot of these people are just playing certain roles. And those roles aren't being shown well. Like Young Thug is not a great representation of what hip-hop is. We just heard some of the things that he says. I'm a stoner. Terrible thing. We don't want to, encourage marijuana use. But that's just one individual who is playing a role that's not necessarily showing what we really are as people.
Colin, and I know you say Colin. I find that interesting because I remember Snoop Dogg said once, I produced this, but I would never allow my children to listen to it.
Yeah.
Talk about this. Are they acting? It's good enough for the public, but not good enough for their own family members?
I would say they are acting. Yeah. And what I would say as a whole is that hip-hop has a overwhelmingly negative impact on young people, especially young black people, young black males in particular. The reason that it has an especially negative impact on young black males is that these hip-hop artists are predominantly black. They're predominantly black males, and so these individuals, these young people, are most likely to personally identify with them. And so the fast life that these rappers talk about a lot of times becomes a fantasy for these young people. And then when it becomes a fantasy, it turns into a reality. And then the fast life in reality, when you really do live it, a lot of times often means a fast death. Financially, economically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and mentally. And therein lies the problem.
Hotep. Welcome back, family, brothers and sisters. Welcome for another edition of Truth Seekers, Spiritual Lesbian, Truth Be Told. Now, y'all just saw that little clip I put up there. And I put that little clip up there because that's basically what the topic of this video is going to be about. Is hip-hop destroying the black community? Some say nay, some say yay. Me, myself, I say it has a lot to do with it. I will not blame it on hip-hop in its entirety, what's going on out here in the streets, but I will say that it does have a lot to do with it. And I do believe that for these rappers today, with knowing that so many of these children out here are idolizing them, making them their heroes and sheroes, worshiping them almost, to a certain degree. I think that these rappers out here today have a duty to fulfill. And I think that these rappers need to take more responsibility for the content which they are putting out, okay? And I know that in many cases, you don't have a lot of control over that because, you know, this industry is behind all of this as well, okay? They're behind the content that's being put out, okay? These record labels and such. But even with that being said, I know that if the rappers were to actually stand up and say, hey, look, we're not making no more of this music. Anything that's degrading our women, anything that's insulting or belittling, putting down to our brothers and sisters, our black community, the black family, we are no longer making it. These record labels would have no choice but to say, okay, you want to put out conscious rap, you want to go back to the days of Public Enemy and, you know, Africa Bambaataa, Zulu Nation, whatever have you, fine. We'll do that, okay? I want to go back to Unity, UNITY. We'll do that because they know that right now the rap business is big money. It's big money, and they're not going to want to lose out on any part of that, okay? That's why they made it their business to get in on that, okay? And come at the rappers back in the days with all of these, what you want to call tokens, okay? You know, the glamour and, you know, big fancy cars and beautiful homes, okay? So, without getting too far off track, all right, I want to read some stuff. You know, I got some notes here. This is just some stuff that I wrote down, some thoughts, and, you know, some information that I gathered about this whole what music can do and the effect that music has on the mind. You understand? So, right now, a little later, I got a little clip that I'm going to put in these videos, in this video, to show you guys what effect music actually has scientifically on the brain, okay? Because many people probably don't even realize that music does have a effect on the brain. And this is probably why a lot of people are saying that, oh no, hip-hop don't have nothing to do with the violent behavior of these young people today or people today. Which, as I said in the beginning of this video, I do believe it has a great amount to do with the enormous amount of violence that's taking place. I don't put the total blame on hip-hop, okay, but a great deal I do. All right, so let me read something I got here for y'all. Okay, African people have always known the importance of music and the effects music can have on the mind, body, and soul. Okay. Our ancestors even used the drum to speak to one another and send messages to members of the tribe who were far in the distance. Okay. Also singing spiritual hymns, Negro hymns, to let other surrounding slaves, black people, know that there's going to be a meeting tonight. We're going to gather down by the lake tonight and we are going to steal away to freedom. Okay? Harriet Tubman was known for doing this. Okay? If you've ever had the opportunity to watch the Harriet Tubman story, what's the name of it? A Woman Called Moses. Love that movie. It's an old movie. Cicely Tyson stars in it. She plays Harriet Tubman. But I love that movie. I remember growing up back in the days, they would show movies like that on like ABC Channel 7, like late at night, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you know. And if it was a Friday, I was able to stay up and watch it, you know. But they don't really seem to do that no more. If you don't have cable, you really not seeing these these movies that were telling the story about black people, you know, documentaries like Jane Pittman, you know what I mean? I remember that one too, came on ABC, you know. So sad, it's so sad. Our kids today, They're just missing out on so much. But you see, it's all a part of their master plan. It's all a part of their master plan. Okay, which is one of the reasons why they stopped airing on TV. Do you know where your child is? It's 10 o'clock. You know, y'all remember that. Because they really don't care. They really don't. This is why we have to start caring more. Okay? They're our children to begin with in the first place. So we should be the ones to care the most. Okay? But let's get back to what I had, my notes here. Okay? Let's see here. Where was I? Excuse me. Okay, yeah, the old Negro spirituals that let the other slaves know that tonight there's going to be a meeting and where the meeting was going to be at, or we were stealing a way to freedom and where the meeting place was to gather. Okay. And slaves would, you know, come from all over. You understand what I'm saying? All over the plantation to meet at this meeting spot. Once they heard that drum, or not drum because the slave masters took away all the drums when they brought the slaves here. Okay, but once they would hear these, you know, Negro spirituals, you know, steal away, they knew that was like the mating call. All right, y'all, tonight's the night. It's time to get together. We getting the fuck out of here. Okay, we getting out of here. We done had enough of massive shit. Okay, Harriet said to me, you hear the lyric, you hear the line in the song, it said to meet her down by the oak tree by the creek. Okay, so y'all get y'all little stuff together, cause we going tonight, stealing away to freedom. Ah, man, but yeah, you know, these songs were sang sometimes at their little secret church gatherings, because slaves also had to steal away down in the woods just to hold church way before they were allowed, given permission to have church, okay? And this is where they would, you know, sing their little hymns a lot of times, and even while they was in the cotton field, okay, they were singing these little hymns that let the other slaves know, hey, we still in the way. And even the Moors understood how music could heal the body. One of the instruments that a Moor brought with him from Africa into Spain, Europe, was like a guitar known as the lute. Okay, it was known as the lute, and it had 4 strings. Okay, it had 4 strings. Each one of these strings were said to correspond to the fluids in the body, such as blood, such as phlegm, okay, mucus, you know, and yeah, because they knew that by strumming these strings, it could heal certain organs, and, you know, heal certain organs in the body and make you strong. So these are all things that our ancestors, our people, black people, we've known these things about music for many, many, many years, okay? The power of music. And music, at one time, as far as our ancestors are concerned, was not just used to get on down and boogie. You understand what I'm saying? It was used to, like I said, communicate, okay, to relay messages, hidden codes, hidden colors, if you've ever seen Hidden Colors. Okay, a lot of this stuff is in those documentaries. Okay, go on Amazon, order that set for yourself. Okay, you're going to find out and learn an enormous amount of history. Okay, I think I said that in one of my other videos too. But anyway, music was known to do so much more. You know, as far as our ancestors were concerned, it was not, like I said, just a thing of, you know, get up and boogie. You understand what I'm saying? Of course, back then, they wasn't allowed to do too much boogieing any old way. Okay, well, they was, they were doing their little boogie before the slave trade took place, but once the slave trade took place, the only time they were allowed to boogie, if you want to call it that, was when they were brought up on deck to, dance around, jump around so that they could get exercise so that they wouldn't fall out and collapse and die and cause these crackers to lose money. Okay? Anyway, so the lute was the name of this guitar. It was called the lute. Lute. Okay, like I said, it had 4 strings, and each one of these strings was said to correspond with a bodily fluid, okay, such as your blood and the mucus, okay, and phlegm or whatever have you. And it had healing powers. It could be known to actually heal you when strummed the right way, okay. And so this is why we see so much of rich society, okay, people of a higher or upper class, middle class, well, middle class, upper class, put it like that, rich society, tend to listen more to classical music. You ever wonder why is that? Has anybody ever wondered, any one of y'all ever really wondered, why is it that white people, especially rich white people, okay, the bourgeois, okay, tend to listen to a lot of classical music, opera, Beethoven, Bach? Well, they do that because they know that music releases certain chemicals, hormones in the brain, in the body. It causes certain feelings, certain emotions. It can even make you smarter, make you think with much more clarity. You understand? Give you much more clarity. You understand what I'm saying? Make you smarter. Okay? And they know this. And how they know this is because, believe it or not, they got it from our ancestors. It was our ancestors, the Moors. Look what I just told you. The lute, a four-string guitar, okay? It's kind of like oval shape, round shape, or whatever have you, was brought into Spain, Europe, by the Moors, okay? And these people knew what the power of music could do. You understand what I'm saying? And they knew if played at certain tones, okay, that they knew that if played at a certain tone, it could release certain hormones, and it could stimulate certain hormones and certain chemical, what's the words I'm looking for? Chemical hormones in the brain and cause certain reactions. Excuse me for that. Music has a powerful effect on our brain chemistry, okay? And a certain hormone known as dopamine, okay, can be released in the brain that can cause you to feel happy when you hear certain types of music. Put you in a calm state, a pleasant state, okay, when music is played at certain tones, certain levels, okay? When you hear easily listening, let's say you're in an elevator or you're in some type of office building, maybe a doctor's office, dentist's office, this is where the music, they usually play easily listening, okay? It puts you in a mellow state. It puts you in a calm state. Puts you at ease, okay? And if you're listening to this kind of music during time when you're studying, it can also put you in a more clear state of mind so that you can think clearly. you have better clarity, okay? And so yes, music does affect one's thoughts. That is a natural fact. It affects one's thoughts. It affects how one thinks. It affects how one feels, your emotions, okay? It releases certain hormones and serotonins in the brain, and it just causes a certain effect. That is without a doubt. That is a fact, a scientific fact. So again, can hip hop cause people to be violent? Can any music cause people to be violent? Is it possible that hip hop is causing our children, okay, to be more aggressive, to be more violent? Of course. I mean, come on, think about it. You know what I'm saying? I love hip hop. I'm a lyricist myself, okay? Now, I don't have no records or nothing like that, but I write rhymes. I spit a little, have been since my high school days, okay? And, me and my cousin, we did some recordings and all that kind of stuff. I come from a very musically inclined family. My mother is a recording artist, okay? You could even check something that she did some years ago out here on YouTube. And it's entitled Begging for More. Okay, you look that up. Begging for More, Monica Neal. Okay, y'all check that out. Show some love your girl's way. Okay, show mama that love. All right, but it is a known fact that music can affect the way we behave. So, I watched a couple of videos here on YouTube and whatnot, and a lot of people, said, hell no, that's stupid. How that's gonna happen? How can music persuade people to kill or maim or just act erratic? This is how it can. All right. As a matter of fact, check this clip out right here.
Music has the power to influence our mind, thoughts, emotions and behavior subconsciously. Music operates on a vibrational level. To understand the vibrational level of the music, you must understand the state it operates through: energy, frequency, and vibration. When an artist creates a song, he channels his emotional state into the recording. This influences the vibration in the music. It then affects the listener when he listens to the song, because he is exposed to the vibration. Repeated exposure to the same, or any vibration, has a significant effect on the subconscious mind. When you are unconsciously unaware of a vibration, your mind is greatly impacted far more than normal, because it is vulnerable to outside vibrations. There are two kinds of emotions we feel when music affects us: perceived and felt emotions. When we perceive music, we can listen to a song without actually feeling the emotion. Instead, we can understand and control how it affects us. We have the power to channel the vibration of music as energy for our own purposes and desires, whether it's for motivation, confidence, happiness, fun, work or pleasure. No, it can be done. Forms of consciousness you presently live or operate on depend on the level of your energy, frequency, and vibration. The three elements combined allow you to create and function at your highest level. This is why you transcend or descend and can become whatever your source is. Presently, you are the root of your elements.
Okay, so now you have a better understanding on how music affects the brain. Okay, your thought process, the energy, all right, the vibration. All of those things play a very big role in how music does affect our mood, our emotions, etc. Okay, and as I told you earlier, with the fact that the chemical that is released into the brain, the hormones that release into the brain, and what they can do, okay, to your emotions, to your thought process. You understand what I'm saying? Excuse me, I just caught a little headache. Okay. Anyway, shake it off. Got this video to do. Okay. So, you know, and besides that, let's just think about something. Let's think about something here. Let's think about something. Think about back in the days. Think about back in the days, the 60s and the 70s. Think about what is going on right now, how people react right now to this music that is being played all throughout the airwaves on the radio stations and everywhere, in the clubs, you understand what I'm saying? Think about how people react to this music nowadays, okay? If it's not making you want to go outside and, you know, be angry, you know, act erratic, you know what I mean? Because, listen, these kids hear it, they want to imitate it, they want to emulate it. You know what I mean? That's not a surprise. You understand what I'm saying? Especially they idolize most of these rappers. You know, they want to be like them.